Once again, before we get started, I'm actually going to just go over really quickly the kind of character that Tengen Uzui is. This is a fuck neutral kind of character. He is a character that is really adept at long range, has relatively big buttons that he can abuse whenever he's in close quarters, and overall is a very well-rounded character when it comes to applying his pressure. But one of the biggest things with Tengen is he's very easily exploitable. Meaning that, yes, you have this button that can come all the way across the full screen, but it's very easy to parry and block. And another thing to note is you cannot cancel this until the tail end, like until he's pretty much done with doing this. So a lot of the times, and I'm not going to cover switch tech too much in this video here, but a lot of the times you're going to want to be able to make sure that you have switch tech very readily practiced and on hand, because if you're fighting a very decent player, they're going to see you do this to try and get in from full screen, and they're going to parry you or punish you accordingly, as it gets snuffed by projectiles and can be clashed with other supers. So just keep that in mind. Now, when it comes to Tengen's combos, like I said, like I did before, we'll start off with some combos, and Tengen has some pretty similar routes. Since Tengen has a lot of hits in both of his supers, as you can see, one has 7 hits, the other one has 6 hits. Tengen's scaling is pretty high, meaning that he's not the highest damaging character. So a lot of the times his combos are ultimately going to do the same amount of damage, but you can kind of squeeze in a little bit extra here and there. If you want to start off with some beginner-friendly Tengen combos, you can start off by doing something like this. Very simple. It nets you a decent bit of damage, and you can actually time it a little bit better, or even do something like this. So that way, they fall into a grab, fall with a crumble, and you can finish off with a grab and net you just a teeny bit more damage. Do keep in mind, though, that this neutral skill here has a bit of a startup. So in order to actually connect with it in a combo, you need a certain bit of hit stun, which is followed up with the 1, 2, 3. You need to follow up with the neutral skill after 3 hits of his auto combo. So make sure you keep that in mind. You cannot just do this. It will drop. They can start punishing you if you try and do this. You can't even do 1, 2. It will drop. As you see, the combo timer did reset. So just make sure that you're doing 3 hits of the square button before you do it. Oh, I messed it up. 1, 2. Just like so. And this way you can just do whatever you would like. Now, if you want to get a little bit more intensive on his combos, these are some of his more optimal routes that you're going to want to use. So you're only going to utilize the DP into his heavy skill. This is going to take a decent bit of practice. It's pretty auto-timed, but you still got to get used to going from the DP into the guard skill pretty well. It works very well in combo, and I will show you just like... Just like so. So for 4 bars, you get 44.29 on Water Tandro, and as I said in the previous video, Water Tandro has a 1 times damage multiplier. That is Tengen's solo optimal route, and that's pretty much what you're going to be wanting to use 90% of the time. Now, you can get very cheeky with Tengen's routes, especially incorporating assists like that, but if you want to do as much damage as you possibly can with Tengen, this is the route you're going to want to use. It finishes off perfectly. They fall out of the combo, and Tengen can start moving. Now, there are other things that Tengen is really fantastic at, and that is resets. And if you utilize resets very scarcely, you can actually keep your opponent guessing at what you're going to be doing with Tengen at all times. Now, this skill right here can be canceled at pretty much at any point. But you have to make sure that you cancel soon enough, or else the entire animation will rock. You cannot cancel it at that point. So if you hold the button, or hold the skill for too long, he will finish up. So make sure you keep that in mind. But knowing that you could do this, you could do the exact same optimal route and throw your opponent for a loop by doing something like this. Oh, I messed that up. Cancel and go right into a grab. This will actually net you just quite a considerable amount of extra damage because you're resetting the combo and going for a grab. This is really, really nice to utilize, and if you are kind of uncomfortable and want to keep your opponent guessing, you could have a simple assist backing you, so you could do something like this. See, if I timed the Inosuke assist a little bit better, Inosuke actually would have kept them down, so they wouldn't be able to mash, so they wouldn't be able to jump away because Inosuke would have been able to catch them. As long as you time your assist properly amongst it, it's very potent. It's a very potent reset. But make sure, you, again, as with all resets, that you were trying to use it scarcely enough so that your opponent isn't going to adjust to you and, you know, all that stuff. Now, when it comes to an ultimate combo, you have options when it comes to an ultimate combo, but you're going to kind of want to keep it simple with something like this. It's kind of hard to incorporate his supers in there because the supers take quite a bit of time in order to fully execute. I'm going to be completely honest, unless you could actually solidify the kill, I wouldn't really use an ultimate combo with Tengen all too much. I would definitely try and keep it so you're just utilizing his combos just to maximize on the amount of damage. There are plenty of other things that you could do, but if you're going to go for an ultimate combo, I highly suggest doing something like this. I messed it up because I didn't let the whole animation rock. But that one's a lot simpler for you to use. You can squeeze it just a little bit extra bits of damage in there. But ultimate combos with Tengen aren't really all too great. And not only that, his ultimate is pretty scaled in the first place, considering the amount of hits that it has. So, a lot of the times, unless you're really gunning for the kill, just stick with basic combos and setups and resets with Tengen. Now, when it comes to assists backing Tengen, you're going to want like an assist that can help keep Tengen safe. So this way, if you come into this, you could call a pretty strong assist backing him. And so I'd honestly recommend characters like Inosuke, Hinokami Tanjiro. The new Hinokami Tanjiros and Itsus are all relatively strong. With Tengen, you want some good follow-up assists just to keep them blocking so you can continue your pressure. And also use them as a means of coming in from a distance. Use the assists first to gauge what your opponent's going to do. This move is pretty quick at getting in from full screen, so if you see they get hit, bam, you're coming in. If you see they block the assist, you could still attempt to come in. But if you see that your assist gets parried or dodged, you know exactly what to do. And then you could start using like dashes to try and make your way in without using your tilt skill, which again is very highly punishable. So when it comes to neutral, just like that, yes, you want to make sure that you are utilizing this tier 3 dash speed as best as physically possible. It's a very strong tool. It's very strong at any character. Do not solely rely on this. Just make sure you are trying to play neutral as best as you can. Play some good at neutral, but keep in mind that you have a button that's just going to come in and just really keep your opponent on their toes. Use it sparingly enough, and you're going to do just fine. And that's pretty much all I got for you with Tengen. I could show you guys one more combo if you guys need something a little different, and you maybe let's say you can't get the timing with this. Let's say you can't get the timing with that. Or you can't get that down. Pretty much, you could do something like this. Oh, I reset it. Hold on. Just like that. Once again, I don't really use the neutral skill all too often, so the timing is a little strange for me. But basically, you could just do something along those lines. And go for this. Because the grab is auto time. Literally the minute that it connects, just start mashing the grab, and that's going to connect. It nets you about 4,000 damage. It's definitely much weaker. It's definitely a little weaker than this combo here. But hey, you use whatever you possibly can online to help better advantage yourself. If you need to do this into the grab, by all means do that. I always say simplicity online over the highly extensive routes. So if you cannot get the timing with this here, just simply follow up with this right into a grab. It's a very nice tactic for you to use while you continue to practice your heavy attack. And that's all I got for you on Tengen. Hopefully this helps, and I'll see you next time.